Hi, my name is Antonis and I'm the iconographer of this video. Today I will paint the Holy Maphorion of Virgin Mary, that is her holy robes. And I would also like to share with you some secrets and tips on how I do these gilded decorations on top of her holy robes. It's a process that is simple enough, but it requires some attention, and I will share with you all my tips in order to achieve the best results you can have. So I hope you are well, I hope you are creative, and summer has begun nice for you. So as you see here, I've already started by the point where I'm ready to apply color on this icon, and I always begin when I'm about to paint an icon. I will check if there are any areas that require this gold leaf decorations on top. So I will always start with those areas. Here, for example, there is this area around her head. I really don't know how to call this in English. You see me now painting it. This will be gilded later on, as well as some areas on her arms. And for this, I will paint, as you see here, using a proplasmo that is consists from yellow ochre, some clay red or English red, and maybe just a tiny little bit of black. So with this proplasmo I will paint these areas, and I will make sure, and now this is a very important tip, that this proplasmos has some more consistency in water. This proplasmos, this color, will not be created with just using the egg solution that I have in my bottle, but I will also add some water in this mixture to make sure that the fat consistency of the egg solution is less and it's more watery. This is because I want to make a color that is more dry than fatty, let's say, and to make sure that the gold leaf that I will apply later on will not stick in areas that there is no glue. You will see later on what I'm talking about. Hi, I'm Antonis, and I'm proud to present you my online course in iconography, Paint an Icon with Me. This course will help you become a better iconographer, and it will help you be more confident when talking and presenting your artwork. It will make you understand in depth the studio practices of a professional iconographer like me, and you will get accustomed to what great iconography looks like. So learn in a simple and organized way everything you need about the materials, mediums and techniques in order to make a beautiful icon. Paint with me the icon of Christ and learn how to paint better any icon you wish. I will see you at the studio. This is my online course. I've created this course with a lot of love. I have applied there all my knowledge of iconography in a thorough, organized way. So if you are interested and have some time and you want to make the best out of an iconography course, consider checking this course out, see if it's appropriate for you, and you need some time though. It requires some practice to finish the course, and for those of you who have already been in the course, a big thank you, and I'm really interested to seeing your results. So anyway, back here in the process of painting the gilding decorations on the Holy Maphorion of Virgin Mary, I'm about to finish this προπλασμό, and I also do a little γραψίματα on this προπλασμό, the shadowy parts of them as seen in my reference. And as I say, the only thing you have to give your attention here is to create a προπλασμός with more water than egg in it, so that it's going to be more dry, let's say. And now you will see me painting, applying the glue. This is a mixion. It's a glue, a water-based glue that I will use it just as it comes from its bottle. It's you can also gild the holy icon with this glue, but I normally use it just for these decorations. It's white in color, and I will not thin it down with any water. I will just make sure that I will rinse my brush thoroughly after a couple of brush strokes, as the brush gets clogged sometimes. It's a very strange glue, I would say. So here you see in detail how I apply these lines that later on will accept the gold leaf. With decisive, let's say, brush strokes, I will do these lines. And I know sometimes this is hard to see because this is a transparent glue. When you apply the glue, it becomes transparent. And feel free to rotate the icon if you can. Rotate the icon and apply this glue as comfortably as you can. Now, with this same glue, you can also do some corrections on the background gold that you have on the icon. As you see, I have some imperfections there on the golden background. So with this same glue, I will later on do these corrections and will make a gold background that is nearly perfect. So I apply here the lines. I am very careful to be in consistency with my reference. I will observe first my reference, and then I will paint these lines with the glue. As you see, I'm moving carefully. Make sure that you are comfortable in doing these lines in color first, that you understand these lines, how they move, etc. And when you feel that you can recreate them with glue, transparent glue, move on to transparent glue. Now I will take this gold leaf now. It's here it's summer, and this glue dries instantly, I would say. If it's summer or the weather is wet, just wait for 5-10 minutes until you are sure this glue is dry, and then proceed with applying the gold leaf on top with some mild pressure. Now this the good with this glue, that we call it here in Greece, it's a mixion of water, that's how we call it. This glue, you don't need to be in a hurry, since it stays gluey. It can accept gold leaf for many hours after you paint it with your brush. And now I will remove the excess gold leaf, and I think the result is really nice, as you see here. Um, so I proceeded with doing the same thing all around the head of Virgin Mary, and now I will move on with painting her Holy Maphorion. Now stay with me if you want to see the rest. There are some more decorations on top of her Maphorion, and here I cannot really paint this Maphorion with a color that is less fatty than my regular egg tempera solution. I will paint this Maphorion with my regular painting, with my regular egg tempera solution that is one yolk, one part water, and some drops of vinegar. But there is a little tip that I think you'll find it interesting, how to avoid gold leaf sticking in such a fatty painted area that I will give you later on when I'm about to do these decorations on her holy robes. So here I will start by painting these grapsimata with pure black color. I will try to avoid scratching the gesso as much as I can. Here I have scratched just a tiny little area on her shoulder where things get complicated. I did really very thin, you can't really tell, scratching on her on the folds of the robes, just to make sure that when I apply my Proplasmo later on I will not lose anything. And this let's say underpainting helps me understand better these folds, helps me really feel the folds on the cloth and have a better result by it. Now at the same time this will help me also create a borderline that is smooth. Sometimes when color meets gold we have some issues there. You can always paint with pure egg solution before applying this grapsimata. Okay, now I'm smiling because sometimes I feel that nobody really understands what I'm talking about and nobody really follows me. Sometimes I understand things get complicated and yeah, or for some viewers of you that are you have no iconographic background, this might seem really strange. But anyway, now as you see, I've created the Proplasmo for the Holy Robes of Virgin Mary that consists of ultramarine blue, some red. This is red clay red, and a little bit of black and a little bit of white. I want this to be not as colory, to be low in color, low of course in value. It's going to be a very dark Proplasmos, but also I don't want it really to be very saturated, so I will add some black in it and some white, and this way I will break its purple character of this Proplasmo. I've decided to make a Maphorion, the color of this Maphorion being purplish a little bit. Usually I really like painting the Maphorion of Virgin Mary with a deep red color, a dark red that gets its photismata, its lights with a very ruby cadmium red color that is very nice result. I have another video where I paint a Holy Maphorion of Virgin Mary with that color, and I think it's beautiful. Here I've decided to somehow paint a Maphorion that is purple. Of course the theme here is more Virgin Mary here is mourning her son. So painting a Maphorion that is purple seems appropriate. I don't think it really matters. Lately I've attended some discussions about this subject, whether the Holy Maphorion of Virgin Mary changes slightly according to the subject. Here Maphorion is always a color that is red. Sometimes it can be more purplish, more bluish also sometimes. I think this depends mostly on the decision of the artist. There is no actual meaning that I know. I think sometimes iconographers or the historians of iconography apply too much, let's say, symbolism on it. Of course, the symbols are crucial in iconography, but sometimes, well, not everything is a symbol in iconography. So I've seen icons of Virgin Mary that are below the crucifixion, below the Christ crucified, and they have a very nice bright red color. I've seen icons on the temple of a church where the Holy Maphorion is a very purple, bluish almost color. Etc. I don't really think that the color should reflect the subject. It depends mostly on the mood of the artist, I would say. Let me know if you have some other opinion on this. Feel free to also supply your sources, give me your sources for that, and I'll be grateful to check those and see what's really going on. Here I'm using this very dark proplasmos that is of purple, let's say, character, and now, as you see, I will paint with almost black, but it's not black, these grapsimata. This grapsimo is the same colors of the Maphorion, but I haven't used any white at all. So I'm using ultramarine blue, maybe some cobalt blue, some dark English iron oxide red, and this will give me a color that is even darker, since here there is no white at all. It will give me a color that is not pure black, but very close to black, and of course darker than my proplasma. With this I will make my first layer of grapsimata. As you see here, and I'll just try to establish here the basic folds on her holy robe. Now, after I do this, I will create a color that is thinner than my grapsimata a little bit, but not lighter, just thinner. That means more transparent. And with this transparent color, I will just paint the areas of the Maphorion that are in shadow. I will just do some shadow blending, and I will darken these areas that have to be in the shadow. I do this in a very linear way. This will give a very smooth and very elegant blending. Of course, here I had to speed up the video too much, but you really get the idea of doing the blending. Of course, just use your eyes and your reference, and your reference will give you the idea of where to make these blendings and where to smoothen this shadow in which areas. So after that I will make also a darker, even darker grapsmo. I will add some black or maybe if you already were too dark, I will use a pure black color, and with this I will intensify some areas of the icon that need to be even more, that need the grapsimata to be more underlined. I will not do this in every extent of the grapsimata. I will just do it in some areas. As I've said, here is I live in a village, and we love dogs here, I would say. We have many, and it's unavoidable that you will hear dogs barking while I'm doing this video. Dogs barking probably is better than listening to, you know, people selling things, selling fruits from their cars, etc. Anyway, it's funny. So now that I'm done with these grapsimata, I will move on with painting my first lights on this holy Maphorion. Again, the brush I'm using is a Kolinsky brush. It's just really so satisfying using this brush, and egg tempera in general. Lately I did some portraits and some secular works with egg tempera, and it's just so satisfying. This medium is, you can really control it in a fantastic way. So for doing this photisma, I've used similar colors to my Proplasmo, iron oxide red. I added also a little bit of cadmium red here, with some ultramarine blue and a little bit of white. Just a little bit. Now, on my palette I have this first photisma, and I also like, one other tip that I would like to give you here is that I also like to add a little puddle of pure egg tempera, non-colored egg tempera on my palette, and to have it there and thin down my colors easily with this puddle of transparent egg tempera solution that is on my palette and not in my bottle. This is easy because I will just take a little bit with the tip of my brush. I will add it to the puddle of color that I'm currently using, and it will make things more easy and more spontaneous to work with. Here, for example, you see how I'm using this first color, and at the same time I'm also blending it with in areas that needs to be blended. But I'm always using this first light color, first photisma. The areas that you see here that are a little bit darker, they're not darker, it's just a little bit more transparent because I'm thinning it down and do some blending with thin down first photisma. I do this while I'm moving on. I will not in this case of icon. I will not finish a thick layer of first photisma and then proceed with blending with a thinner layer. I will do some blending as I go here. And if I need to return and do some further blending by the end of this layer, I will do it again. We have these beautiful lines here. Often they are truly nice, and I would like to keep them. And again, some blending, as I said. Now, you could in theory also add a little bit of a little bit of the proplasmos color and make an in-between color in between first photisma and proplasmos. That will make things even richer, but also make sure to keep your waters very thin and do blending with transparent thin colors. Now, when you use these thin colors, make sure that the layers underneath are dry and are stable. In order for them to be stable, you have to paint them with, for example, my proplasmos here on the Maphorion has to be a stable proplasmos. If my egg solution is not the correct one, then probably the proplasmos will not be very stable. If, for example, I created a recipe, I created an egg tempera solution using a lot of water and too little of yolk, then probably my proplasmos wouldn't be so stable. Or when I prepared my colors, let's say my egg tempera solution is right in consistency, but when I mixed the colors, I used too much powder pigment and a little egg solution, then also my proplasmos will not be very stable. Make sure that you understand the right consistency of your colors, and you will have no issues with egg tempera. You will be able to add many layers without running the risk of them flaking or sweeping away the color on the layers above them. Thank you so much for being here so far. For those of you who still are here, I know that it's not easy for you to follow me with my horrible English, but thank you so much for your patience, and it's really exciting. I understand that you really are eager to learn. That's very exciting for me, and this is the reason that I make this channel for many people like you who have not an easy access to a teacher of iconography. My course is my online course is a way for me to support myself a little bit and also help give this knowledge of iconography. I truly have condensed in those 25 videos. I've condensed my knowledge of icon painting in a way that is organized and thorough. I try to put there anything that might be useful for both beginner and experienced iconographers. It's also a paid course, as you know, and it's really a way to support myself, to make some time in order to give you those videos on YouTube, and at the same time give something that might be useful. So again, thank you all so much for buying that course, and of course I would like to thank all my Patreon supporters in patreon.com. They are truly amazing for supporting me there. I upload some material exclusively there, some videos and some photographs, and it's my way to give thanks to those people who truly give their financial support to me and bring me closer to my goal, that is to being able to sustain myself as a full-time artist. So again, a big thank you to each and every one of you, also for your amazing comments. I try to answer them all. Your presence in my channel is truly nice. Thank you so much. Sometimes really your comments are so warm, so heartwarming. Thank you so much. And I have to tell you that although I might seem, all people carry their cross, and we all have periods in our life where things get hard. So it's nice to have a community here in this channel where we are gentle with each other and supporting each other's work. I would really like to, when people are answering other people's questions and comments, it's really nice. Anyway, thank you so much for your amazing presence here. Now again, back to this Holy Maphorion. Now you see me painting the second light of Virgin Mary. For this I will use the same colors, but I want to gradually become a little colder in my lights, so I will add more blue in consistency than red. So again I will add some ultramarine blue, maybe with a little cobalt blue, some red, iron oxide red, and maybe some cadmium red as well, but I will make sure that blue is more in volume, and also of course some titanium white, just to make things to make this color lighter in value. And now carefully I will do these shapes of light. I will not call them lines here, although they seem, they are lines, but I try to think of them as forms, as shapes. They have a body of their own, and I will try to paint those as carefully as possible. Try to have them being consistent with each other. Try to make them as less shaky as possible. And as you see here, you can also do a little bit of, blending right next to them. You can add a little bit of watery color and do some very basic blending. And now I will do one more layer of light, my third light here on the Holy Maphorion, and I will add some blue on my second light, just to make sure that this will be even colder, let's say. I will add some blue and some titanium white, and with this I will paint the third light of the Maphorion. Carefully try to make sure that this third light does not cover every area of the second light, that is partially covering it. This is important, don't forget that. And slowly, carefully try to paint this third light. Of course, there are many ways to paint a Maphorion, many colors. You don't have here. This third light is really high in value. Of course, it's not pure white, but it's enough light. You don't really have to paint the Maphorio with this so light third light. It depends on your reference, on your taste, etc. Here, as you see, I will go back a little bit just to make things a little bit more consistent. This is something that I can't really explain what I'm doing here or why I've decided to do it. It's just sometimes these photismata feel they need a little support, I would say. So I will go a step or two back, maybe one light back, and I will make that light thicker in shape, and this until I feel comfortable. Now, okay, let me now share with you a tip how to make the gold decorations on top of the Maphorion of Virgin Mary. This is talco powder that I'm using here. I will take some talco powder, and with the brush I will just apply softly this powder on the areas of the robe that will accept these decorations. Now this talco powder will make any fat that exists there from the yoke to disappear. It will create a surface that is very, very dry, and I have to say, if you ask me, okay, why didn't you do the same thing with the other gilding areas? There I could create a consistency of color that is less fatty, and I was sure that the yolk would not stick. Here, if I painted this, if I added this glue, as you see here, without having added the talco powder, then for sure the gold leaf would be stuck on top of my Maphorion, just because the yolk would have this slight fatty surface on it. I would not be able to create gilding that is enough, that is nice enough. Here though, after adding this talco powder, I will be able to apply this glue and then use my gold leaf to create these decorations. Again, if what I'm saying is confusing, just use the video, just use the image. I think the image is self-explanatory. I just want to say that I'm using the glue I used before, the mixture of water. And when I use this glue, I always use a brush that is synthetic, just because this glue tends to practically destroy the brushes that we use with it. The brush needs to be washed every now and then with soap. And when I'm using this brush, I always use a synthetic, this glue, I'm always using a synthetic brush that is very thin and easy to work with. I know that here you can't really tell the decoration that I'm about to do. Even I wasn't sure what I was doing there. One tip that usually helps here is that you can, our cell phones now, they all have these flashlights. Sometimes if you turn on the flashlight and place your cell phone right next to the area that you need to decorate, you will be able to clearly see the transparent glue that you apply. This is, I believe, my last tip for today. I probably should have used this flashlight here. I just felt comfortable that yeah. Sometimes iconographers use gold in liquid. I don't think it's the same thing. Yeah, of course, it's much easier to use than this method, but here you can tell that it's real gold and it's bright and very beautiful. So now I'm ready to apply my gold leaf here and see what happened. Now see how this looks horrible. If I hadn't applied the talco, it would be just like this, even worse. Now, since the surface is very dry beneath because of the talco, I'm able to remove the excess and have this beautiful result here. If you find this useful, please consider subscribing and being part of this channel. I did the same with this area here, and now I'm ready to remove the excess. I have to say this is very, very satisfying. So thank you all again for being here. Let me know in the comments below what your experience with gilding is, any news you might want to share with me, and I want to wish you to be creative and healthy. I will see you soon with another video tutorial. Until then, be creative, healthy. Bye.